Hey, everybody, welcome back to Morning Talk with Mike and Paul. I'm Big Mike, and that, my friends, is Sir Paul Honeyman out of England. I enjoy our little morning pre talks. We were talking about military driver's licenses and all kinds of crap. But yeah, guys, the weekend full of rain here in Oklahoma. Well, Oklahoma, where I live, we had a storm that stretched from down in lower Dallas all the way up into Missouri. And there were tornadoes, and I mean, the rain, I mean, it came down. Um, but we
We had a
slept
bad
through it.
one Saturday night.
That's the way it goes in Oklahoma. You know, you either get a tornado or you don't. But we just slept through it and woke up the next morning with just like a lake outside. But
Oh, we
um,
had we
it's
had a
what it is.
bad storm. Yeah, we had a bad storm Saturday night. I've got a spring-loaded letterbox, and all it did all night because of the winds were that strong was rattle.
Oh, really?
I I ended up getting up at 3:30. I actually had an early night because of a migraine on Saturday night.
Yeah.
I was in bed for 10:30.
Mm,
That's PM my time,
right.
trying to get rid of a migraine.
Oh, wow.
And every time that thing rattled, I was screaming. It was
Mm,
that bad. I ended
yeah.
up I got some electrician's tape and taped the damn thing shut 4 times.
Yeah.
It didn't make another noise. I
Well,
woke
I'm
up.
going to tell you something. We have a tag on our electric box, and it's outside of our bedroom, and you can't take it off. It's a security tag, and every time the wind blows, it goes tat 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 tat. And now, when they first put it on there, it was like it'd keep us awake. Now we can't go to bed without it tapping. How you get used to stuff, you know? Hey, but today we're going to talk about dark people, the Dark Triad. Um, People that you get into relationships with, friends you may have, dates that you may have. Um, I'm sure with the age group that actually watches us in the morning, I'm going to leave it at that. Most of us, or all of us, have met one of these kind of people in our lives, whether you were dating, whether you were married to them, whether they were acquaintances or people in your family or whatever. There are a lot of tall tale signs, tell something. How does that phrase go?
Telltale.
Yeah, signs that
Telltale.
you're dealing with a number one,
Psycho.
somebody who has a dark side. Number two,
Psycho.
that is manipulative. Um, People that are freaking nuts. Okay, let's put it that. Let's put
No,
them all in one basket of nuts.
no, because a narcissist is a controller,
Oh
whereas
yeah,
a psycho is somebody that you really don't want to get on the bad side of.
yeah. And so we're gonna lay all this out for you, and we're gonna talk about that this morning. So I'm glad you guys are here. I've got my Texas pecan coffee in my mug that Jesse at Lazy Days Ahead made for me for Pinecone Fest. The other side, it does say Pinecone Fest on it. It's got Big Mike on the other side with an American flag. And also, if you didn't know, Jesse and Lisa, in their lives, they showed the new 250-year celebration T-shirt that they came up with for Lazy Days Ahead, and I got one. Lazy Days Ahead, 250 years, America. in the 250-year celebration of America's independence. I got me a T-shirt, so
I'm not getting one of them.
and I really like it.
Bunch of bloody traitorous colonials.
If you want one, please go over to Lazy Days Ahead, look at their merch store, and order you one. Terry got me mine. They didn't send it to me. Terry bought it for me because I said I wanted one.
I'm not getting one. I'm not celebrating 250 years, a bunch of bloody old traitorous colonials.
Well, I mean, you guys were the psychopaths that wanted to control everything. So,
No, that was one psychopath in charge.
well, there was one. He spoke for your country, and he sent the red coats over, and then
he did not speak for the country. He ruled the country.
Yeah. So, hey, here's to you, Britain. Thank you for our independence.
And as somebody that loves the Americans so much, you're fucking welcome.
Okay. Hey, so there's Tamara. Welcome in, Tamara. Our favorite Karen's here. Karen Brest is here.
I know Karen's here.
There's our good friend Jennifer Ocean Homestead. Says 8:30 a.m. That's an hour ago. Hope I didn't miss. Well, I don't know if you're looking at Eastern Standard, because we're on Central Standard Time, which is an hour behind y'all. If that's where you're at, I don't know. People, the reason I have kept moving, only way to get away from creepy people and feel safe. Well, that a lot of people do that, and a lot of people have to do that. Okay, and there's Sir Paul Honeyman, of course, from England. And hey, show him that picture of you and the baby.
Oh, you good twat.
Well, you knew I was going to bring it up.
Again.
You knew I was going to bring it up.
I didn't. No, I kept it safe.
And of course, I did pin the link there to join us on panel if you want to talk about this subject. Yep, there's that little baby girl pulling Pawpaw's beard.
The look of pure joy on her face.
Yeah. She said, "Oh, there's somebody with more hair than I got." There's Rebecca by Yarn. Welcome in, Rebecca.
Lynette from Coffee Angel Crafts says they're not going to hold me responsible.
And yes, I got that rain also. The thunderstorms. Yeah. Yeah, that was some bad storms. I'm going to tell you what. Hey, there's Lynette, Coffee Angel Crafts. I believe that's her name, Lynette. That is Roxy's mom.
Lynette. Yes.
Yeah. Want to make sure I get that right. Let's see. Hey, there's Debbie Drock, our good friend. Hello, Debbie. Yep, Lynette, you're right. Troy Sutton's here. Troy Sutton's in the house.
My hands always get a warm, tingly feeling when I see Karen's name in.
There you go. We won't hold you responsible, Paul. What, for comments that he's going to make ahead of time?
No, for the revolution.
Oh, for the revolution. Okay.
I do not apologize for any comment.
Live shows is okay. Is your time? Okay, I understand. Yeah.
I do not make any apologies for any comments I make during these shows. They are my thoughts, my mouth.
And if you guys remember when we first started this channel, it is adult conversation. If we hurt somebody's feelings with what we say, we apologize.
No, I don't.
But you got to let me finish, Paul. We apologize.
I do not apologize if my.
But yet we don't apologize. Okay.
I do not apologize for anything I say.
That's right.
If it hurts your feelings, you are the problem.
Yeah. We try to work in a woke-free.
This is woke-free. We're not trying to work in a woke-free.
Hey, Oh, I clicked the wrong one.
Yes.
Come on, mouse. Hey, there's
Hi, Mike.
Birch. Welcome in, Mike. On my phone at work. All right. So yeah, guys, this morning we're going to dive into something most people don't like to talk about. Okay. But everyone has experienced this in some point in their life, the dark side of people. All right. Not the obvious kind, not the villains you see coming. We're talking about the ones hidden in plain sight, the charming, the persuasive, the ones who seem completely normal at first until they're not. Narcissism. This is the hard one. Machiavellianism. Woo. And
Where the hell did that come from?
And how these traits show up in everyday life. We'll be talking about the real behavioral indicators, things like manipulation, lack of empathy, and the need for control. And that's a key in a lot of sick people is the control part. Okay. We're going to explore the subtle signs, superficial charms, constant lying, gaslighting. And I didn't know what gaslighting was. Lately I hear that a lot on these reality shows like what Terry watches, Love at First Sight, Love is Blind, Love Island, all these things that Terry watches. People talk about people gaslighting them. Basically, it's people who are just BSing you to get you to think a certain way or to con you into something is the word gaslighting. And patterns of unstable relationships, the kind of things that are easy to miss until you're already caught up in it. Okay. But more importantly, we're going to talk about how to spot it early. This is an open mic, open podcast. So we want to hear from you. If you experience this kind of thing, if you've seen it in other relationships, not just your own, or if you've lived through it, we invite you to come up and share your story and be part of the conversation, because the truth is the truth. Once you learn it or you see it, you can't unsee it. Okay? You just can't. So the question is, can you spot them when you first meet them?
No.
I think that the real good ones,
the real good ones are so good at
basically,
hiding.
I'm going to use a Star Trek or a sci-fi type thing. They're cloaked, meaning that side of them they keep invisible until they get you hooked.
The difference is it's not until they get you hooked, it's until they get you on your own.
They cut you out of the herd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once they've got you on your own, they try to get you to live a certain way, to do a certain thing. And if you don't do it to their way, they punish you. It could be something as little as take it as, right, you're not getting any cash this week. Figure it out. And yes, I've lived it.
Yeah.
I cannot hit a woman. I say a woman, but any woman that lays a hand on my family, I could knock them through to next week because they've started a war.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Hey, there's our friend Felix. Oh, he says, yes, I can spot them.
Felix, I'm going to call bullshit radar on that.
It's kind of like people saying, I've got gaydar or I've got this dar. And then all of a sudden they get tricked and they go, wow, I didn't see that. Okay.
No, I'm not saying you can't spot them all.
I have been in relationships. I was in one relationship where, man, she was just the sweetest woman in the world. She said all the right things. And everything was going great. It was kind of weird. I was out of a divorce. I think I was divorced.
Oh, you were going through that phase, were you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was in my mid 40s or early, somewhere in there, and she was 25, and she just, I mean, everything about her just seemed so perfect, and things were going great. She lived about 50 miles away from where I lived. It was a perfect combination where you didn't see each other every day. You waited to like the weekend or a holiday or something like that. And everything was great. And she always wanted to come to my place. Okay. Never. No. She goes, no, I will drive down to your place. And I go, oh, okay. I mean, we went on dates and stuff like that for a while until I didn't give her my address right away or anything like that. And which you could have looked it up on the internet and found my address. But anyway, everything was going great. And I said, man, this is pretty cool. And then she says, hey, would you like to go to Kansas City? She goes, I got tickets to George Strait that's playing at Kemper Arena. And I said, well, that'd be cool. And I went up there and she paid for the hotel and everything that we stayed at. And I'm just like, oh, wow. You know, I mean, I'm thinking, I've hit the mother load.
No.
And then the boy on the side. And then she had a lake cabin on Truman Lake. And I'm going, wow, you have a lake cabin? She goes, yeah, I got it in the divorce. And I go, oh, I said, I didn't know you were divorced. I didn't even know you were married. She goes, oh, yeah. She goes, I am. And I've got 2 children. And I'm going, wow, I've known you for a month. And then I'm just finding this out. And, you know, I'm not like most guys. I don't just jump into bed with somebody. I like to get to know them and who they are first. And, you know, I don't, you know, because for me, that's a big step in a relationship. I'm not one of those, you know, one night stand type people. I don't even try or anything like that. But I guess I was when I was a teenager, you know, but or a young man, but not at that age. I was more looking, hey, I just got out of a 22-year marriage. I don't really want to jump into anything. I wasn't trying to, you know, sow any oats, you know, or, you know, they say, hey, to get over somebody, you got to get, you know, on top of somebody. I'm not that kind of a guy. And then,
good morning, Jerry.
Well, let's go to the cabin. Gave me the address. We all went up there and stuff. Me and my 2 boys, and I met the kids and all that stuff for the very first time. And this was like a month and a half into this. And I said, oh, wow, the boys had a great time up there. Everything was so perfect. And so time went on, and we're about 3 months into it. And she says, "Hey, I'm going to be moving." And I go, "Oh, really?" She goes, "Yeah." And she's a respiratory therapist, and she drives all over the state of Missouri to see patients and stuff like that. And she was making huge amounts of money. So I go, "Oh, that's cool." And then all of a sudden, she shows up at my house and she goes, "Hey," I go, "Oh, I didn't know you was coming down here." She goes, "Well, I was looking for a home and there's one in this area." I go, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I do a lot of business down this way, so I thought I would look at homes." Well, the house she was looking at was right down the road from me. And I'm going, "Oh, wow. You know,
Ding, 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 ding.
that's kind of close, you know? How did you find in the middle of nowhere where I live? You choose one of these houses, and it's right across from the church where I lived out in the town I lived in." And I'm just like going, "Hmm, that's kind of strange." And she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I think that's the one." And I'm going, "Well, I'm one of those. Is this the person I can see myself married to?" And the I guess the question at the time was no, because I never wanted to get married again after being married for 22 years. And it kind of was kind of weird. And she goes, "Well, they're going to do the numbers and we're going to see what's going on and blah, blah, blah." So she left and she went back up home, and we were getting into the summertime. And all of a sudden I had to go to um, Washington, D.C. The government was sending me up there for a leadership course, and it was a 2-week course. And I read the riot act to my boys and stuff like that. They're all 16, 17, whatever. And I told them, nobody comes over yet, and just air in the wind, because they're going to have a party and stuff like that. But I had to say it just so when I got back and I found out about it, I could bust their chops and stuff. So all of a sudden I called the house and nobody answered the phone. And yes, I had a home phone back then. And then I got back and the boys they weren't there. And I'm calling all their, "No, I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them." I said, "Don't lie to me." And they're saying, "No, we haven't seen them at all." And I got back, and the next day I got a phone call and says, "Hey, we're all up here at the lake house." And I'm saying, "The lake house?" She goes, "Yeah." Um, and I said, "Nobody talked to me about this." She just took it upon herself to come get the boys and take them up to the lake house. Well, there's horses to be fed, animals to take care of, and they just left, and the animals had to fend for themselves. And one of them,
Ooh.
a stallion that I had in a pen, and he was eating the nasty hay that was on the ground. If you know anything about horses, they piss and they get, and he was forced to eat that stuff, and he became sick. And I was just like, "Oh, what the hell?" And I drove up, I got everybody taken care of. I called the vet, had my stallion looked at, all kinds of stuff. And I was kind of pissed. And
I
she
would have been more
was
than pissed.
gonna get my kids without my knowledge, take them up there and have them up there while she was working. and the kids were on their own up there at the lake. And I said, well, no, hell no. And I went up there and got them, and I told her, I said, you know what? Doing this without my knowledge and calling me, because I had my cell phone and nobody calling me, I said, no, I don't want to see you no more. Do not come around my children no more, yada, yada, yada. And then I seen it. I took my kids and I came home. I seen the anger in her eyes when I told her that. And it was kind of like really freaking creepy. And I came home, and then all of a sudden, one morning, I get up and I go outside, and she's sitting on my porch. And I'm like going, what are you doing here? She goes, we can't leave it like this. I said, what are you talking about? You took my kids without my permission, never notifying me, nothing. I said, you need to get off my property. And she goes over to her car and pulls out a shotgun from her car. And she told me, you can't do this to me. So I slip into the house. I bolt the freaking door. And she's walking around my house looking into the windows. And I'm like going, dude, you may have to do something drastic here. I unlock the safe and I get one of my buddies out. I'm like freaking out. This is like Cabin in the Woods. And if you knew where I lived down a goat road. Terry used to come down that road and bottom out in her little Toyota Corolla and stuff like that. I lived in the woods. You drive to the country and then you take a right and you go into the boondocks. That's where I live. That's where my farm was. And it was freaking me out. I said, man, I will, something bad's going to happen here. And she's out there yelling and screaming, and I'm like going, holy smokes. And I slip out the back, right? And I slip out the back and I'm watching her from the woods, and she's like pulling her hair. And I was so creeped out, guys.
Do you know why she was pulling her hair?
That. And
do you know why she was pulling her hair?
Mm.
That's her self-defense.
Ah.
See, when the police get called, she's ripped out her own bloody hair. That's to say that you've done that, and she's had to grab the sock on.
Yeah. Well, she finally got into her car and she left. And I'm like going, man, I need to install a gate up there at the top of the road where she can't drive down here. But then she could have walked through the woods to get to my place too. But, you know, that was probably the creepiest. And I just gave you a synopsis of it. There was a lot more that really creeped me out. So, and then I didn't date again until, you know, for the longest time. I said, man, I can't, this is, people are nuts. But anyway, so that's the thing I had to do. So detecting the dark side in people, often defined as the Dark Triad, traits of narcissism, Machiavellianism, I can't even say that word, and psychopathy involves identifying patterns of manipulation, lack of empathy, and the drive for control. Key red flags include superficial charm, frequent lying, gaslighting, and a history of unstable relationships. Kind of with my story, kind of tells you something, right? So,
I got a question.
yeah,
Did you ever contact her ex?
no,
You didn't.
no,
That would have been my first choice.
no. I never even heard the children talk about their dad.
That's because the mom's probably scared the shit out of him.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm saying.
I don't even know if he was alive. No one ever talked about him. She just told me that she was married before, and that was it. So,
She was divorced.
or she's divorced, yeah.
Yeah.
But behavioral indicators are signs of dark personalities. Guys.
Yes, Jennifer, I'm assuming he wasn't unalived.
Yeah, it was like a fatal attraction. Exactly.
Why can't I find one of them again?
Corner Clubhouse Gold Ball. It was. I mean, it was creepy. Then you start going back and you start, okay, this time and this time, I just blew it off. There were early signs that something wasn't right with her, and it was, and I always thought I was a good judge of character. I was a cop. Hey, those are the things you're supposed to look at, but when you're on the job, you're always looking for it. Okay. But then when you get in a relationship and you're going, hey, things are pretty cool, blah, blah, blah. And it just, I let my guard down, because you can't be guarded when it comes to love. I mean, I guess you can, if you've been hurt enough, I get that. People can be very guarded, and they call that putting up the walls. I'm not that kind of a guy. I'm an extrovert. Okay. I am one of those guys where Terry and I can go somewhere. Terry will stand there and I will just start engaging with people I've never even met before. That's the kind of person I am. I'm out there. This is what you see is what you get, type of person. But yeah, kind of when I think back of it, it is kind of like a fatal attraction type thing. I was probably waiting to see a boiled rabbit on my stove or something, but that never happened. But yeah,
I agree with that, Jennifer. Jennifer says men are usually the worst judges of character. Most girls see the acts the girls put on and can spot it when men can't.
Yeah.
And now I just look and see if she's got a cute ass. That's enough for me.
Oh, see, and that's what gets you killed in the long run. That'll get you killed, buddy.
If I can go, I'll go face to face. I'll go grab on each butt.
So manipulation and control. They often treat relationships as games to gain resources, social status, or sex. Well, I didn't give her, any kind of resources. She had all her own resources, and I didn't give her any social status whatsoever.
She had the batteries too.
The last one, yes. Yes. Then there's the lack of empathy. The struggle to understand or care about others' feelings, often appearing cold or unfeeling. And I didn't see that in her, but I did see the controlling part. I mean, her kids didn't want for anything. She only bought the best of everything. But I do now, afterwards see the controlling part of her
Did you
kid.
say fart?
No,
I could have sworn you said controlling fart.
part, not fart. But I could see the controlling part and all that. And then afterwards comes the defensiveness and blaming. They rarely take responsibility, often blaming past friends or current partners for the conflicts. Okay. After everything that she had done, it was my fault. I was the one putting this pain on her. And I can't remember everything she was yelling and screaming outside while she was walking around my house. But it wasn't good stuff. It was, how could you? And I trusted you, and all kinds of,
works both ways.
yeah.
You trusted her, and she came and she put your livestock at risk.
Well, I mean, thinking about it, she had my children.
She came and took your children. Now, my problem with that is the fact that she only took the children. Those kids were there to maintain and watch your animals.
Right.
So she didn't just effectively take the kids on their own. She stopped your preparations for going for that meeting.
Yeah.
You needed preparations in stock like you do now. Brittany comes up and checks on your animals.
Yeah.
God, I love that girl. But
yeah.
She comes up and checks on those animals while you're away.
5 hours each way.
Yeah. You cannot just take some of these kids who are looking after livestock and think, oh, this is fine.
Well, I was kind of pissed at my boys that they actually did that. But as teenage boys,
I would have been annoyed, not pissed.
They were looking at more of we get to go to the lake house. We're going to get on the boat. We're going to go skiing and we're going to fish and we're going to have a good old time. And she just buys us everything we want.
Yeah.
That was my boys. I mean, teenagers are takers. They're not real givers. They don't know how to give. They just know how to take. All right. And that's why
I'm well aware of that.
I always taught my boys, do not come up to me and ask, hey, Dad, can I borrow $20? Because you have no intention of paying me back. And they go, what are you talking about? I said, the word borrow to me has nothing to do with, hey, I'm going to pay it back. Can I borrow it?
Yeah.
My hopes is that you will, but your actions have told me in the past, you have no intention. Just say, hey, Dad, can you give me $20? And I'd either say yes or no. But it is what it is.
My dad brought me up to say, my dad brought me up, and when I say he brought me up, he wasn't there for most of my first 16 years. But when we started going out drinking together, I was working it was what the government called a youth opportunities program. It was for training young kids. So I went to college and I did a few of these different courses, but you're only on £25 a week for these youth opportunity programs. And you get a free bus pass so you can travel the area.
Yeah.
Now, he turned around and told me when we started going out and playing darts in the pub together, Mondays for the darts team, come with me and I'll buy you drinks. He says, right. He says, if you ever borrow money off me, you don't get no more until you're paid back. He says, that's fine, Dad. She says, I don't expect to be borrowing off you. When I did borrow off him, I went to give him it back. He said, keep it. I says, no, the agreement was you lent me, I'm paying you back. He wouldn't take it for 6 weeks. I got caught putting the money in his wallet. He kicked the living shit out of me, thinking I was stealing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I told my mother exactly what I was doing. My mother turned around and says, don't do it. I said, Mom, he's in the bath. Here's his wallet. I'm putting this in his wallet. And that was when he decided to have a quick bath instead of a long bath. And he come down and he caught me with it. Kicked the shit out of us. Never touch his wallet again. I went in my bedroom and I stayed there for the rest of the night. And my mum turned around and says, you know, you were wrong. To me dad. She said, what do you mean I was wrong? He was in my wallet. Yeah, because you're a stubborn bastard and you wouldn't take the money back. Oh, both my parents spoke their minds. So they turned around and said, what do you mean I'm in the wrong? He should never have been in my wallet. So, well, next time you tell somebody to pay you back, take the fucking money back.
Yeah.
Don't tell them you pay me back or you'll get no more. Because all he's done for 6 weeks is try to give you the money that you lent him 7 weeks ago.
Yeah.
My old man came into my bedroom that night, sat down, looked at me straight in the eyes and says, 2 things. First, I'm sorry. Says, what's that for? That's for beating the shit out of you. Second, I'm sorry because I told you to pay me back. Says, no, you were teaching me life. Only you fucked up. And he says, what do you mean? I says, you thought beating the shit out of me was going to make you a bigger man. He says, Dad, I know you're a fully capable, trained, unarmed combat paratrooper. I ain't got no chance. But if you lend me money, I will pay you back.
Yeah.
And I'll take a beating every time. He says, you fucking won't. Next time, just leave it under my wallet. And that's how that one ended. We went out and we played a game of darts that night in the league. And we both got good scores.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, but let's go on with the behavioral indicators and signs of a dark personality. Aggressiveness or dark humor, using humor to insult, demean, or make others feel uncomfortable. Have you ever met people that do that? Then there's charismatic initial impressions. And this is the one that hit home for me in the story that I told you guys. They can be experts at making great first impressions, only revealing their true nature later in the relationship. Okay. The controlling part, I call it deceiving. And I mean, she painted a picture. She got my kids hooked, thinking that my kids are just head over heels for her, and that would keep me in the relationship. But it was actually her actions that drove me away from the relationship. Then there's high risk behaviors. a tendency to disregard social norms and take unnecessary risks within the relationship. All right. I don't know what that would be, taking unnecessary risks, but this information comes from psychologists that have spent decades analyzing these type of people. The charm test. Many individuals with dark traits are initially charismatic and likable. This is often superficial charm used as a tool to gain trust or status with the persons or person. Okay. Being like the center of attention, the person that if you're in a public space needs attention, everything needs to be drawn towards them. Over talking your partner, meaning answering for them, being in total control. You've seen movies where they'd be asking somebody some questions and the partner has to answer for them to control the narrative. So they have to stop and say, hey, let her answer it, or let him answer it, or let the child answer it, or whatever. Okay, we want to hear from them, not you, but they have to be in control of all that stuff. Okay, so then there's the lack of empathy. Okay, this is the core dark trait, empathy. All right, the core dark trait, it looks for a failure to react appropriately to others' pain, or cognitive empathy, where they understand your feelings intellectually, but don't care about it whatsoever. That's a creepy person. You know what I mean?
Yes. I am getting sick and tired of this thing not sending my messages through to you.
Oh.
It's YouTube blocking them on StreamYard. Yeah. As I was saying to Felix, the British people think Keir Starmer's mother should have swallowed him.
Starmer's
mother should have swallowed him.
So, okay. Yeah. Good one, I guess. So then there's the boundary test. Okay. Try saying no to a minor request. A normal person respects boundaries. A person with a dark trait may become angry, offended, or use pressure to get their way. Basically, throwing a frickin' tantrum over the smallest things. Okay. That's creepy. Okay.
That's my ex-wife right there. She
really?
threw a tantrum over anything.
Wow. You are right, Paul.
I'm always right. As Jesse says, I'm always right. I'm never wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that, Paul.
Jesse says, I may not be right, but I'm never wrong.
There you go. Yeah.
I knew that was wrong as soon as I said it.
Yeah. So being angry or offended or using pressure to get their way.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking about.
Oh, sugar. Sorry, Bob. I forgot to say hello when you came in.
Like Terry likes to get her way. Okay. And we could be laying
Every
there
woman
watching
does.
TV or whatever, and it never fails. Never, ever fails. She'll say, "Hey, can you rub my back?" Night after night after night after night. And I say, "No, I don't want to rub your back.
I want to
Please,
rub your front.
please, please." And she doesn't stop. She does it every
Good
night.
morning, beautiful.
Don't let her tell you any different, guys. And then, well, are you done? Or if I stop, she'll go like this and wiggle. Come on, keep going. Terry is a 2-minute person. She can only cuddle for about 2 minutes and she's done with it. She can only rub your back or scratch your back for 2 minutes or less and she's done with it. But when it comes to Terry, it can go on forever. She's lying to you, folks. Don't listen. Pay no attention to the lady
Have you
behind her.
not learned yet?
Okay.
Have you not learned that yet?
But that doesn't
Do you know
mean
why it goes on
that doesn't
forever?
mean she has a dark side.
No. Do you know why you haven't learned?
Hard-headed.
No. My ex,
She likes attention.
I used to love giving my ex a massage
Yeah.
because it never stopped at the massage.
I'm the worst. I am the worst massager whatsoever. I hate doing it.
I used to love doing that.
No.
And I had experience as a massager.
Jamie, I would spend the $500,
As a masseuse.
$600 for a massage chair or more just not to do it anymore.
We
But then
all heard that, Terry.
Terry would probably sleep in the massage chair. And then I would have a king-size bed all to myself. I'll place it over in the corner with a little lamp, kind of creepy looking, and she can sleep over there in the massage chair. I'll take Terry's side. She seems nice. She is. Guys, she is absolutely, she would do anything.
Adorable.
But yeah. Hey, April, welcome in. I'm glad you're here, my friend. But let's look at this. Treatment of others. Observe how they treat people from whom they gain no benefit, such as wait staff, janitors, people in public service. Rudeness or demeaning behavior seen here is a major red flag. Wow. Yeah. I've seen that. I've seen that in a lot of people. Demeaning wait staff and stuff like that. I know that for us, we have a thing that we do. We never tip less than $5 any time we go someplace. I could go eat breakfast for $11.99 at a local diner or whatever, and I will still tip $5. All right, that's almost 50% of, or just under 50% which is a lot. But that's just what we do. And if we have a bill that's like $100 freaking, then that means that the wait staff has been serving you. Now, I mean, there are some times that I've never even left a tip because the service was horrific, was trash. Okay.
Yeah.
But a good server, a good wait staff, I do my best to tip about 20%. I mean, if it's like $100, I'll tip $20 if the service was outstanding. Okay. I know you guys don't have tipping over there, do you, Paul? I mean, normally at
It's
restaurants.
optional.
Huh?
It's optional. It's not forced.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
the restaurant we go to,
there are some restaurants that throw in gratuity, and
Yeah.
I will look at that and I'll say, oh, the gratuity they've already put in there and into the total. Okay, so why should I tip if the gratuity is already there? You know, I mean, I get that. You know, restaurants have to keep their wait staff. Now, there's some people that'll say, oh my God, I'll never come here again. You're forcing this on me. And they won't
Yeah.
go back there. I get it. And you have every right to. All right. But if it's a place that you enjoy, you know.
I went into a restaurant over here where they tried forcing us to pay, just like the Americans with their gratuity. They tried doing that over here. And I asked a member of staff, one of the servers, this gratuity, how much do you get? Oh no, that's all goes to the restaurant. So you're not even getting tipped? No. I says, well, that's what that's for. What do you mean that's what it's for? I says, that's what that is. That's your tips. And when they went up and spoke to the manager about it, he fired them.
Yeah.
I got my family and we literally just walked out. Says, well, you've booked it, so you've got to pay. It says, no. I says, I'm not paying a thief. Says, I'll find another restaurant where I can enjoy it. And if I feel like tipping them because they've been a good server, I know they're going to get it, which is why the only restaurant I'll eat at is the same one every time, because I found a restaurant that, one, it doesn't just do a good steak. If I feel like having a proper Sunday dinner, I can go in here and have a proper Sunday dinner. And they will literally put down what you owe them for the meal. There's no added bonuses. There's no added gratuities. And I'll look at it. And if it's, I mean, I spent 110 yesterday on the meal for the family.
Yeah.
It should have cost me 104. It was a £6 tip.
Yeah.
I always go up and I'll pay to the next 10. And I'll turn around and say, no change.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say, no change. And I always get a thank you from the doorman. And the manager always comes over to say hello. I don't need another restaurant. At least not while I've got teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, you missed the one about what Jamie said before.
No,
That's what had me laughing.
I see that but she was talking about the chair. And at first I read that one twice. I go, whoa, oh wait, she's talking about the massage chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see that video. Yeah. Hey,
That
so
image in my head was what had me laughing so much.
so
Oh,
yeah, and if my son is a high-end server at a place I can't afford to eat. He makes like 25 an hour. Yeah, my daughter-in-law, my Mackenzie's mom, she works as a server, and that's about what she makes, $2 and something, whatever they make there. But she brings home about $300 a night in tips per night.
Jamie,
There's the baby.
that's how she is.
And that's good because you can make a living as a server when you're making that amount of money per night. And she's working 6 days a week. All right. So
I
you're
don't do it every week,
looking at
Jennifer.
around $1,800 a week serving. So, yeah, I mean, but can it wear you down? Sure. Dealing with people, you know, and at first it's a struggle because, you know, there's not a school for serving, you know, and you learn. You make the person that's there feel important, like they're the only customer in the place. You do everything you can to make it an enjoyable meal, and make things right. And then the tips come. I get it. But you know, let's let's look at constant blaming or blame or shifting the blame. They rarely take responsibility for mistakes. Instead, they use tactics like Darvo: deny, attack, and reverse victim or offender, to make things feel like they're the bad guy and not you, the dark person. Always shifting the blame. Okay. Those people that you say, hey, you know what? I wish you, I mean, simple, I'm just putting this out there. I wish you would chew your food with your mouth closed. And then they turn around and they automatically attack you on some kind of shortfall. They got to go back and forth, back and forth. Um, they can't just sit there and say, oh, hey, you know, could you please close your mouth when you're chewing? I don't like to see your food all mixed up in your mouth while you're freaking gumming this stuff, you know? That's just not good table manners, really. So they're always shifting the blame. They got to go back after you to take the heat off of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on, superficial relationships. Their history often includes a trail of short-lived, shallow friendships or romantic partners who are eventually discarded once the utility or the use is gone. Okay. I would say that that wasn't the case with me in my story. Um, I I guess I was accused of using her, getting what I want, and then dumping her to the side and stuff like that. I'm going, whoa, 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 wait a minute, psycho lady. That is not why I don't want to see you no more. I don't want to see you because of this, this, and this. Oh, you're just making that. What? What? Listen, you're nuts. And let me tell you something. Afterwards, and here's the scary part. Afterwards, she bought that house down the road from me. And I'm like going, what? And my boys go, yeah, we seen him down there. And I talked, he goes, I think it was Kevin, said, I talked to the girl and yeah, they bought the place. I'm like going, what the frick? And she had sold her place. She lived in a place called, what's that funny place called on the way to Kansas City? Hobbler's Nobbler or Hobnobber?
Cobbler's Rest.
Who?
Cobbler's Roost or Cobbler's Rest?
No. Terry. Knobnoster. That's where she was from, Knobnoster, Missouri. And
she came from Knob Noster and she was a knob knocker.
She sold that place and used the money to buy the place down there. Still had her cabin. It was like a 3-bedroom cabin up on the lake. And I'm like going, this is nuts. So I talked to my guy over in the sheriff's department and I told him what had happened. He goes, holy crap, dude. I said, I'm kind of scared because, you know, being a military guy, we call that danger close. All right.
Yeah.
When the rounds fall short from where they're going and they're landing on you, that you know, I'm thinking I'm going to take indirect fire from a very direct person or deranged person. And I'm guessing it was like a month. And Kevin goes, well, because he has to go by there to go to school. So yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. No cars, no nothing. I'm going, And all of a sudden there was a for sale sign out there like a month and a half later. And I guess she had sold it to somebody else. And I'm like going, wipe the sweat off my brow. That was freaking, who does that? You know? But okay. So let's talk about how to spot them. Okay. How do you spot people like that? I mean, is your psycho dar up all the time? You know?
It's not for everybody. I don't care who says it always is. Because you have to realize you get your ups and downs too. And sometimes when you get your down, when you're on a down and you meet people like that, you're just happy for the company. Until you realize, holy shit, what have I done?
Well, it's kind of like, as a father, I'm like, you know, Brittany had a lot of guy friends. She always has guy friends.
My daughter was the same.
Being told, oh, you're sick. That's sick, Dad. He's just a friend. I said, listen, I was a boy.
Yeah.
I know what it feels like to be in the friend zone with somebody that you're attracted to. And trying to explain things like, yeah, he's always there when you need him. He's waiting for that one chance when you're down the most that you'll turn to them and something will develop. I said, don't trust them. Okay? Because listen, and I'm going to tell, this is the fact. I lived as a young teenage boy.
By that, he means he was a horny bastard.
Listen.
We all were.
Boys are the worst creepiest dudes in the world as teenagers. Okay? We only have one thing on our minds. For a teenage girl to confide in a teenage boy, those teenage boys don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, let alone give somebody some sound advice. All right. Normally, teenage boys will just always agree with her. You're right. He's horrible. Yeah, you shouldn't be with him. But I love him. Well, I think that's admirable. I think you should look into it. Always supporting her, you know? Dude, he's just waiting in the friend zone for one chance to nail your daughter.
Matt Rife, the comedian, brings that up.
I was a creepy teenage boy, and they're all creepy teenage boys. Okay? Like the doctor told me, she says, yeah, your testosterone's kind of low, but that's normal for a guy your age. And I looked at it and I go, what? 110 is my testosterone? She goes, yeah. You know, when you were like 16 years old, your testosterone was like 600. And she goes, that's optimal operating testosterone. All right.
That's horny little bastard testosterone.
Basically, you're running around at 16 like a two-peckered billy goat looking for anything to jump on. Okay. I'm going to use a farm analogy for everybody. Okay.
Or a woodpecker looking to peck a hole.
That's your son. Okay. And your grandson, when they become teenagers, they're creepy little dudes. Okay. They're looking.
You should all go and watch Matt Rife.
I mean, look, all we had was the Sears catalog back in the day. Okay. And the Sears catalog had a section in there with all the bras and panties with models and stuff like that. Everybody my age remembers the Sears and Roebuck catalog. The dudes were not looking at the BB guns and things like that. They were looking automatically to the bras and panty stuff because we were creepy little dudes. Then, of course, there was one dad in the group that always had a girly magazine, and those were stolen by the creepy little sons. And we sat on the side of the railroad tracks looking at the Hustler magazine, the Penthouse magazine, and then he'd have to sneak it back in there and put it in Dad's collection. Okay, of creepy magazines. But that's
and James and Tamara are saying, don't forget National Geographic.
Oh, I looked at those too, because those were in the libraries. Okay, but that doesn't mean you have a dark side as a kid. Can a dark side develop out of that into your adulthood when your brain is finally fully formed? Because it's not formed at the age of 16. Trust me. We're just dumber than rocks at 16, and we're led around by that little hard thing in our hand. Okay? That's the God honest truth. Okay? So if you have a son or a grandson, just look at them as teenagers and go, ooh, okay? Because that's what's going on in their brains. I'm going to break the code. See? I'm telling you, if you're a very observant parent, you're going to know. Oh, I can't believe, man, everything people told me about my sons, I believed right off the get-go. I was never one of those parents. Oh, my son couldn't do it. You damn right my sons could do that. I knew that. I'm not one of those parents that are going to protect your kid. And don't call me. They knew the rule. Don't call me when you get arrested and you're in jail. because I am not coming. You can forget that. Okay. You know who called me? My buddies at the sheriff's department or the police department. Hey, Mike, we got your son in lockup. I said, all right, what do you do? Well, this and that, this and that. And I'm going, all right. Oh, you're not going to come down here? I said, no. I said, he's 17 years old in the state of Missouri. You can try him as an adult. And then, oh, by the way, I run into the judge. The same judge that was my divorce lawyer back when I got divorced. He's now the circuit court judge of the Tri-County area. Hey, I had Mike in my courtroom, and I'm going, yeah, I heard. And he goes, I didn't see you there. I said, you won't. He's got to do this on his own. And he looked at me. He goes, really? I said, yeah, I'm not bailing him out. I'm not paying for a lawyer. I ain't doing nothing. If he's old enough to do the crime, he's old enough to do the time. I said, you do what you got to do. Well, I gave him probation. I said, see, wrong call. Okay, wrong call. Because you put him on probation, he's got to go see the probation officer. I will not give him the $45 every week to pay the guy that's assigned to him, his probation officer. Because in Missouri, where we lived, you had to pay every time you went in to see him each week, and they did a checkup. You had to pay him $45. No, not going to do it. I said, then they're going to turn him back in. He's going to come see you. And then you're going to give him, you're going to slap him on the wrist and say, ooh, you didn't do this. So now I'm extending your probation. You still ain't going to get your money. I don't get it. Why are you putting this burden on us? Don't look at me to give him the money. Oh, you could help your son out, people said. I could. But where's that going to get him? When you hand people something and he doesn't want a job, he's never held a job more than a week. All right. That's just the way he was, because he was a drug addict. And I'm not going to do it. I've spent my entire insurance on him for rehab. I drove him from Missouri to Nebraska, to the University of Nebraska, that has a teenage program that's like one of the best in the United States. It's an awesome program. He did great in there. He spent 1 month in there. I spent my life savings. Came out, Dad, I've changed, blah, blah, blah. A week later, he's in the hospital, OD'd, on life support. Comes out of that. That wasn't rock bottom enough, guys. He had a dark side. All right. And his dark side was drugs. He was ADD, right? Or actually ADHD when he was a young boy. Was put on Ritalin, put on different kinds of medications so he could feel normal. I did a paper in college on my own son for my psych. And I'm living proof. I watched my son through medications become a drug addict. Because when he wasn't on the medication, straight to the D department in school. As soon as he started taking the medication again, straight back up. When he was on the medication, he said he felt normal. He didn't have all these things in his head pulling him to every freaking direction. Okay. can't concentrate on one thing. He's got to do a million things. If he had 16 hands, he'd still not have enough hands. So drugs made him, when he couldn't get the Ritalin no more after he graduated high school, right? Like, did really well. Graduated high school, couldn't keep a job, was either drunk or stoned out of his brain, doing heroin, doing Molly, methamphetamines, cocaine, injecting. And the funny thing is when he was a kid and he had to go in for shots, he would scream bloody murder. He would go insane because he had to get a shot in the arm. And then he became a needle user. I'm just like going, what the hell? He had a phobia about needles, but no, when he was high, he said he felt normal. I'm just like going, it's insane. And for people that aren't alcoholics or, drug addicts and stuff like that, if you've never been one, don't claim you understand them, because you don't. You will never understand what it means to be an alcoholic if you've never been if you're not an alcoholic. I can't say never been, because once you're an alcoholic for the rest of your life, and you're on guard the rest of your life. Paul's living proof of that. I'm sorry.
Hey, look who's just joined. Hello, Tony and Joni. Creekside Chronicles
All
Ministries
right.
just.
So telling people that you understand, and I never understood it. The best therapist for alcoholism is an alcoholic that's gained control of his life. That person understands. He doesn't have to go to college to learn all this psychobabble to understand what an alcoholic goes through, or a drug addict. I always said my son, if he could go and get clean and stay clean, he would probably be the best drug therapist you'd ever meet, because he knows what it means to, but he never hit rock bottom. He ended up in the hospital probably 6 or 7 times on OD, flatlining on the thing, but always came back to life. Yeah. Okay. And why do I know that? Because he memorized my social security number. His name is the exact same as mine, but he's a junior. When he was in the hospital and he'd finally come to, they would ask him questions. All of a sudden, I'm getting a bill for some $30,000 for them saving his life. I'm going, whoa, wait a minute. I would take that down to my lawyer and say, hey, this ain't me. Okay? This ain't me. This is my son using my information. And it would have to go through court and all this other shit. I said, why do I got to prove? You took enough blood. You don't know who this guy is? Take some blood from me. Yeah, I'm his dad, but that's not me. And he did that. He bought a truck doing that. All right. He bought, all kinds of stuff. I can't go through all this stuff. But my point is, those are people who have a dark side. Yeah. And they can't shake that dark side of it. Okay. That thing, that drug, that alcohol has got freaking hooks in these people. And even though you're a recovered alcoholic, there is still, you can't trust a drink, because one drink leads to 2 drinks, three drinks, it leads to you falling on the floor and passing out or blacking out because you can't stop. Same thing with the drug addict. So those people, you can find out who they are, right? You can observe and all right? Because a leopard is a leopard. Even if you paint it black, the spots are still there. Okay, using that analogy. So observe behavior over time because they are charming initially. Look for the long-term consistency rather than the first impressions. Okay. Now, check their track record. Notice if they have very few long-term friends or a trail of broken relationships. Okay. Now, if you're a guy and you meet a gal and she's been divorced 5 times, can they all be the guy's fault? Or is there a common denominator? You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, could be.
The common denominator looks at them in the
really
mirror.
suck at picking men. Maybe her thing is I like guys on Harleys, and none of them has treated me right, or they've thrown me to the side when they're done with me. Okay, I don't know the story, but check their track record.
Maybe she won't go and get her braces taken out.
Yeah, test their empathy. Pay attention to their reaction when you are upset or uncomfortable. Are they comforting to you, or hey, get over it? Or they don't even want to be around you when you're upset because now they're not the center of attention.
You know what you call a woman with metal braces?
What's that?
A cheese grater.
Oh, Paul. Yeah, you're right. Right. I'm sorry, I'm not hitting all these comments, but I hope everybody's reading the chain of comments. Hey, welcome in, Tony and Joni. Glad to see you. Yep,
Tamara has just told everybody that she is clean because she used to do all the drugs.
Yeah.
And she's been clean for 30 years.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to tell you something you may not know about me. And this is the shocking part, that I have a son that's a drug addict. I worked undercover on a drug suppression team. And my job was to change my personality, change my identity to fit the situation where they stuck me. So they may put me in a community, and I'm working. Back then I was young. I was working at a supermarket, or I was working at a gas station, or I was doing something where they set me. And I worked for the federal government, and then and I was working overseas in Germany. And the government, I'd go see the pass and ID guys, and they would take my picture and they'd say, okay, here's your passport, here's your driver's license, here's your identification card, and you are this person right here. And I'm going, oh. So then we would go and memorize everything on our credentials, IDs, passports, and all that stuff. Get you a job at wherever, and then you would infiltrate the area because there was a high drug use or whatever. And I would insert myself into that community, get to know everybody, go to parties, I was drinking all the time. I was smoking hashish and marijuana and snorting coke and doing all kinds of stuff while I was out there, while still trying to keep focus on what the mission was. Because all this thing about, oh, simulated this and simulate, no, that's what gets you killed out in the field. And then once the mission was over, I would have to come back in. You'd go to a drug treatment facility after you came back, and you said, this is all the stuff I did. You did your reports, everything. And they're going, holy crap, you were a busy boy. All right, you're going to go into this treatment community care center that the military and the government run. And so you go there and you go through the treatments and all that kind of stuff. And this was after 6 months to a year of working in operation. And the funny thing is, I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting high with all these people. I enjoyed all that stuff, but I also enjoyed busting the people, and I didn't bust the users. I got into the trafficking part of it. Okay. Those are the guys I enjoyed taking out. But at the same time, just living it up. I had family. I was married. I was gone for 6 months to a year at a time. Strains on the relationship and stuff like that. Can't talk about that part back then. So you got to understand, how did I end up with a kid with a drug problem when I was a drug enforcement agent? And people don't understand what those guys go through. Number one, your body, your mind, your soul, when you're doing stuff like that. And I kind of understand the enjoyment, the attraction, the relationship between drinking and drug use and stuff like that, how it can become so addictive that you craved it. I couldn't wait to leave my family and go on the next mission. It was exciting. It was thrilling. You're putting your life on the line. It was like an adrenaline rush. So I kind of, sort of, but I can tell you, and I tell people this, I haven't had a drink of alcohol since the last meetup back in May.
I was going to say the last meetup.
Oh, wait, the cruise ship. See, I can't even freaking remember that. And
he was so drunk he couldn't remember.
Here's the scary part. Because I drink beer. But guys, I was drinking because it was free, because we've already paid for the drink package. Man, I was slamming the Crown and Cokes. I was slamming the tequila. I was slamming the vodka. I was drinking every kind of combination drink I could think of. I was, Long Island iced teas. I was just slamming those things. And not thinking, it was kind of like my body was craving it. So I don't know. Am I a pattern drinker? Am I an alcoholic? Am I just somebody
who's a social drinker?
I was just letting loose, having a good time. I don't get violent. I don't get angry. I don't get none of those things. And man, I have a good night's sleep. I have a great night's sleep. Or
Terry,
if you're day drinking, I found out that naps are awesome. A good afternoon nap after having breakfast and starting to drink on a cruise boat before noon. Naps are awesome.
Terry, what does he
'Cause you
snore
can
like
drink all night.
when he's drunk? When he's drunk, what's he
If you're
snore
an
like?
alcoholic, a cruise ship, get the drink package, because the cruise ship is like an alcoholic's paradise.
Not if you're like me.
I seen them on the boat, Paul. I seen those guys.
Yeah, I'm saying not if you're like me, because I was a nasty drunk.
Yeah,
Mike's not a nasty drunk.
I'm not a nasty drunk.
I was fine
very
if I was on the same. If I drank the same drink all night, I'm okay.
Yeah. Once you
Somebody
start
mixes a
drinking
drink.
up, yeah.
Somebody mixes one.
Yeah,
I
I'm
become Two-Fist Terry.
They call me Mellow Yellow. So, gaslighting. Beware of people who try to make you doubt your own perception of reality. They're trying to skew your reality into what they want it to be. All right. Specific traits and patterns of somebody who has a dark side. I'm going to give you the traits, and then I'm going to give you the primary red flags. Narcissism.
It's not your fault.
Grandiosity.
Grandiosity.
A consistent need for admiration and extreme sensitivity to even mild criticism.
Sounds like Terry.
No, Terry's not like that.
I was expecting Terry to answer that.
That's not narcissism. That is being a woman. Okay.
You got that right, because only males are
Machiavellianism. Did I say that correct?
Machiavellianism.
Machiavellianism. Strategic lying. Cynical views of human nature and the use of flattery or white lies to manipulate somebody.
You said that right before Terry got up. So you just mispronouncing your words. So Terry corrects you.
I'm saying it the way Terry wants me because she's controlling me. Look at me. I'm the puppet. The master's over here. Psychopathy.
Terry's just going into the weapon safe. She's coming back with a shotgun.
Psychopathy, high impulsive thrill seeking, unnecessary risk taking, and a total lack of remorse for causing others harm.
Jennifer has a question.
In the shower.
I remember the bait.
Yeah, in the base motel.
Yeah. Jennifer Ocean Homestead has just said, "Empty Homestead, I'm hoping to post Chicken Talk E2 feedback videos. Episode this Thursday night."
I know
weekend.
We did not get around to doing a short, and I'm sorry for that.
And she says, if you are able to send a quick video this week, let me know.
All right.
And then she says, Terry is allowed to just smile and do what she says with a smile like that and a loving compliment.
So, subtle signs to watch for: the cold shower, a sudden shift from love bombing, excessive praise, to cold devaluation of the relationship. It's like shutting it off and turning it on. All right. Triangulation, pitting people against each other to make themselves feel more important or needed. That's kind of creepy. Then there's information gathering. They may ask deeply personal or dark questions early in the relationship, like, hey, what's your biggest regret? To collect, leverage, or later manipulate individuals. All right, that's what they do. So pay attention. If you suspect someone in your life has these traits, psychologists often recommend gray rocking. I didn't even know this word, gray rocking, making yourself as uninteresting as a plain gray rock in the river. So they'd lose interest and move on. No, I've met
I
people
don't
like
agree with
that.
that because I'm like that all the time.
People that would tell you on a date, you'd ask, hey, you got kids? Well, I really don't want to talk about my personal life and stuff. They'd always push that stuff so they didn't have to answer it. And I get it. If you're a woman, you should be very protective of your information. Okay. Where you live, what your mailing address is, all this other stuff. It's kind of like YouTubers. YouTubers get P.O. boxes. All right. When in fact, you could probably search my name or Terry's name, and somewhere on the internet will tell you, because our stuff has been sold 1 billion times, where you actually live. Okay. But that's what we do. And I told Terry, I said, why are we spending $199 every 6 months or whatever to get that larger post box thing? Why are we paying that when everybody in the world can Google my name? Because I Googled it and it has where I live. Kind of wasting freaking money, aren't we? Hey, like me, I always say, hey, bring the fight to me. I've got an arms room back there. I'm fine. I'm not worried.
It's fine unless you're a woman with a shotgun.
Well, and the thing, and I understand people, they got kids and stuff like that, and they do that, but I'm just like going, why are we spending this money? I mean, there's a lot of you out there that I have given my personal address to, so you can mail stuff to me. I'm just that kind of a guy. But we got the post office because everybody else was getting the post office box. I don't need it.
We got the post office box because we moved here.
Well, we did originally. We got it because we first moved here and we needed an address for everything to come to. We took us a month or more to find a home. But yeah, I get it. But we don't really need it no more. So, but people out there, gray rocking, making yourself as uninteresting as a plain gray rock in the river, so they lose interest. Now, I'm not saying how you go about doing that when you first meet in a relationship. If you're just as plain as a gold gray rock and on the first date, I'm sure there won't be a second date. Unless you're just, hey, I'm out for a free dinner or to go out socializing, or you can just say, hey, instead of us talking about all this stuff, let's just talk about whatever, growing up, doing that. Why do we need to get all the 411, if you will, everything about the person on the first date? Now, I will tell you, I am kind of turned off by going on a date and the person across the table, I have to hear their whole life story in 30 minutes. And oh, by the way, after that's done and they go, so what do you do for a living? Oh, blah, blah. How much does that pay? Or do you own your own, the interview questions that guys get? All right. Are those all
interview questions are red flags?
Are all those your teeth? Do you have a job? Because where I was living in Missouri, if you had your teeth and you had a job, you were a catch. You were a catch, you know? And I said, I learned that from my son, Kevin. Hey, Dad, the ladies at school, there's a bunch of them that, hey, is your dad single? Hey, is he seeing anybody? I'm going, what? And then I said, what did you say? Go, you're talking about my dad? And he said, a lady told him, yeah, he's got his own all his own teeth and he's got a job. He's a catch. I go, holy crap. Keep them away from me.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's low standard.
Yeah. I mean, because there's a bunch of shitbirds in that area anyway. You know? What are you going to do? But guys, I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of these people out there. Okay. They're just not on TV shows.
Lynette says, they're my own teeth. I bought and paid for every one of them.
That's right. Yeah, see? Greystone is a good idea. Yeah. And I get it. You know, if I was a woman and I had, let's just say I had a Facebook page, I would make it private and only invite people in that I know. I wouldn't let everybody on the internet scroll through all my information and stuff like that. And then on the other hand, we got to look at a thing that they call in the military OPSEC, Operation Security. All right. What information do you put on your Facebook? Do you need to put your birthday? If you have friends, they know when your birthday is. You know, do you put all your information? Oh, I'm an account executive at Honeywell and I live in, you know, Mount Pleasant, Texas. And man, you're narrowing it down for somebody. I would just, you know, hey, put your name up there. I you know, I'm a dude. I don't care, but I do care that somebody's going to steal my identity. You know, are there stalkers out there? Are there women stalkers? Are there? I know there's male stalkers. All right. Male stalkers like to corner women into locations to make them vulnerable and stuff like that. I'd be scared as a woman. I mean, I'd probably be petrified as a woman. I probably wouldn't be on Facebook.
If you were a woman, every man would be scared.
Well, let me tell you something. If I was a woman, I mean, I wouldn't look like this, but I'm going to tell you something. I would be scared, number one. Number two is like I told my daughter, before you get married or you get into a relationship, make sure you can take care of yourself first. Be self-sufficient. Don't rely on a man for your livelihood. Okay? And for guys, it's probably the same advice, you know. Don't be dependent. Hey, I'm doing fine on my own, blah, blah, blah. I'm ready for a relationship. And what am I looking for? Am I looking for somebody that's dependent on me 100%? Or do I want to find somebody that, hey, she's got a good job. She's doing rather well. Let's see if we can merge these two together into a relationship where nobody's dependent on nobody. Okay. And that's one of the things. These people thrive on you relying on them, making them the most important thing in that space-time continuum that you guys are living in. You know, it's the way it is. So as a woman, I get it. Us men call, man, trying to break down those walls. This woman's got some tall walls trying to get over those things. And rightfully so. When you've been left, abused, used, and stuff like that in other relationships, yeah, you can't help but build up walls. You can't help but say, hey, that I met a dude and I'm getting straight to the bottom of this. I'm looking hard. I'm you know, right now everything he tells me is BS until I can prove it. You know, I get it. It's out there. People aren't born that way. All right. People make people that way. It's not always, hey, she's just a crazy woman or he's a crazy dude. Somebody put him in that crazy chair. Okay. And if you, like me, I went into the dating world in my mid 40s. Dude, did things change? Am I dealing with a total different type of human being when you're dating women in their 40s and 50s? Those women have seen it all. They have experienced rock bottom. They have experienced hurt. They have experienced these narcissistic creeps out there. I mean, maybe not everything, but in some way or fashion, if you're a woman in your 40s and your 50s and you're dating and you're single, something had to happen in your life. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. It's not easy on both sides. Okay. So I hope somebody learned something from this today. I hope somebody got some information that they didn't know about. I hope that, you know, I just, man, wouldn't it be great if all people were just nice to each other and we didn't have these, you know, crazy people out. I mean, look, I don't know what happened to the Guthrie woman down in Tucson, Arizona. I can't even remember her first name. Nancy Guthrie. Who kidnapped? How can you do that to a human being? And who did it? Is it one person? Is it the Mexican cartel? Is it whatever? I mean, people who do that to other people. What is that show you watch all the time? You like? No, that dude, that Dexter, who worked for the police,
still going,
but was killing everybody. I mean,
is that still going?
It's a killer show, killer thriller show. But how weird would it be to run into somebody like that and you're on a date and everything's going great and you know nothing about that other person? That right there would scare the bejesus out of me. Okay.
Right, I've got a question. Who the hell is Nancy Guthrie?
She is the mother of Savannah Guthrie. She's a talk show host. She's kind of famous. News anchor and all kinds of stuff. Her mother got kidnapped. She lived down in Tucson. But anyway, yeah, she may have. The desert's a big place down there. Did they make her to withdraw money from her account?
No, she says, I think she died in their hands before they could force her to draw.
Before, yeah. I don't know.
She's 80. The mother was an 84-year-old millionaire.
Yeah. I wasn't accused of building walls, but building Fort Knox. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, you know, relationships can drag you straight into the dirt. I love the nuclear family. I love women at home with their children, raising their children, make homekeepers great again. Hey,
I've got one thing to say to that comment. It would be great if the wages could afford that.
Yeah. Yeah.
James, as I said, where can you find a woman who hasn't been like that? She's still in school. She hasn't learned it yet.
Yeah. We lived in Wichita during the Carr Brothers Christmas Eve massacre. Oh, wow. Hey, Paul. He gave me a $5 tip.
Oh, he finally got to the bottom.
Yeah. Well, I hope I offered something to somebody. Just even if it's opening up the conversation. I mean, if you're single out there, guys, wow. I mean, if I became single after being married, if I outlived Terry, I would just live the rest of my life on my own. I just couldn't. I don't know if I could do it again.
Mike,
And stroke of luck, the stroke of luck of me meeting Terry, I was browsing through MySpace. If everybody remembers MySpace, it was before Facebook, and you could design your own page and have your own intro music and all kinds of stuff. But one of the great tools on that one was you could search for people in your area. You can say, I'm looking for females in this zip code. Boom, every page would come up. And that, all of a sudden, the first picture that popped up was a picture of Terry. And she was sitting on an ottoman. She had a skirt and blouse on and stuff like that. And I'm going, damn, she's hot. And she lives in my area, and I've never met her. When the facts were, we did meet. And that's a story for another time.
that's a story you've already told.
I know some people haven't heard it. Okay. But anyway, guys, I want to thank everybody for coming in. It was kind of scary researching this and finding out, before these people write these books and put stuff like this together, they got to talk to a bunch of crazies.
Ask me anything you want.
And a lot of victims. Okay, no
Yeah,
doubt.
well, I've been on both.
What? Jamie? I could never love again. 35 years. May the force be with you also. May the 4th. He is an asshole sometimes, but I am also. Guys,
Yes.
made in heaven.
Two assholes fight together.
And I'd like to tell you guys, O'Rourke's Littlefield is a proud sponsor of the Mid-America YouTube Meetup. I want to thank them for providing the banner for the meetup. It's not cheap, but I want to thank them for working with me and working with Mickey over at Critter Creek and putting this together. And I want to thank them. So when you look at, let me see if I can get this straight. That banner right there, I know it has a lot of stuff on there. But that banner right there is made, and it is a 4x8, I think it is, banner that we're going to hang up at Mid-America. Besides that one, we have a smaller one that everybody will sign. And then I just want to thank Mickey for doing a great job on the banner. But hey, guys, glad you can make it in here. Paul, thank you as always. My co-host, who he may not speak a lot, but his words are very powerful. Okay? Or
Full of bullshit, you mean?
Or may offend you. In
Like
some
I
way,
said,
shape, or form. But I want to
full of
thank Paul
bullshit.
for coming in. Guys, remember, be kind to one another. Help somebody in need. Always, always think of that. Hey, and I hope you guys have a great week. It's only Monday.
Yeah, I know.
Come Thursday, this Thursday, we'll be a week out from going to the 10 Killer Meetup. All right. We will be there on, I think, the 16th. We'll be there the 16th, 17th, 18th, and leave on the 19th. So
I thought that was May.
that is April. May is the Mid-America.
Oh,
May
right.
15th through the 17th. We'll be there on the 14th. So we'll be there 14th through the 17th. But this time we're going to be at 10 Killer. We're bringing both the dogs with us.
Doggies.
Freya is going to love it. We'll
He's
probably
going to love it.
Now,
What?
Loki, we can control. Freya, I mean, people, she loses her mind. Isn't that right, baby girl? It's you, baby girls. Well, get up here and let me give you some loving.
There she is.
She is a great little girl. She got shaved.
I know.
She got shaved. She's a baby girl. Say hello to everybody. Say hi.
I'm
All right.
Freya. Hello, baby.
When you don't have children, your pets become your children. So anyway,
Yeah.
guys, hey, we'll see you on the next one. We love you. God bless you. Have a great week, everybody.
Stay safe.
All
Have a
right.
great week.